Hey guys, Jeffrey here. Welcome back to my show where I like to drop knowledge bombs on people. This is going to be another one of my objective personality typing videos, and today I'll be typing Phil McGraw, aka known as Dr. Phil. Let's get right to it. Something that jumps out at me really quickly is that Dr. Phil is not missing blast. He's always like, "Hey y'all, I'm Dr. Phil and I'd like to welcome you to my show where I drop knowledge bombs on people." And this is entirely anecdotal, but you want to keep your eyes open for the blaster hands where they're always emphasizing a point. They're not as free flowing as my hands tend to be, for example. I'm also strongly suspecting that this is blast over consume. It seems like, there was some golden age where he did all of his consuming and now he's done. That time has passed. He's happy, he's regurgitating information, he's reworking information and then representing it to the tribe. As a point in favor of lower consume, he's not even keeping up with the requirements for his license to practice psychology. He's really not even a doctor at this point. I mean, he's a doctor in the way that he has a PhD and he plays a doctor on the TV. Next up, I'm going to say that he's not savior feeling. He once said, "I am what my wife calls emotionally constricted." And this kind of illustrates that sometimes other people can be useful in providing an outside perspective on what our preferences actually are. There have also been a couple of times when he has lost his cool and really exploded in anger at certain parents on his show. And whenever he's doing that, he's obviously not in a quote unquote savior state. In the choice between NT and ST, I am going to land on ST. I heard him say a couple of times that knowledge is power, and he emphasizes the importance of the true, unspun facts. He'll say, "Well, we need to look at the statistics on this one." And that's just a form of thinking that's a little more tethered to sensory reality. I'm also suspecting that he's a double decider. On one hand, he'll say, "Here's something that's really important to me." But he's also really aware of the various sorts of emotional realities that cause people to misbehave. So this next one is kind of a controversial move, and it actually goes against my initial instinct. So I might be suffering here from what I've been calling the anti-bias bias, where I tell myself, it can't be that simple. Let me look for the opposite. My point is, I think that he's actually self-over-tribed, which does not gel well with what I was seeing from the other people in the objective personality class. In one interview, he talked a little bit about having issues with authority when he was younger. He would talk back to adults a lot. And he said that one lesson that he really internalized was, if you're going to get by in this world, you got to take care of yourself. So, for another example, in one interview, he was asked if sex addiction was a real thing, and his response was, "Well, there are plenty of professionals that I respect who would say that it is a real thing, and they're entitled to their opinions. I actually happen to think that it's not a real thing." So in this example, he has this entire spectrum of differing opinions and differing takes, but at the end of the day, he knows where he stands, and that's the choice that he's going to go with. Last but not least, we come to the question of info-dominant versus energy-dominant. This is one that's really giving me some trouble, so I tried to look at what the missing animal might be for each one and how that would emphasize its opposite. So if we're wondering if he's missing play or consume, we'll be looking for whether he seems like a sleepy kind of character or a more blasting kind of guy. And again, this one's really tough because he's not very emotive, but at the end of the day, I think that the blasting is the thing that we really see when we look at him. And then it's also kind of hard to deny that he is very playful in certain situations, so I think maybe play is going to be his third animal, and he's going to be missing consume. I also think that he's firm on the facts, and he's firm with the tribe, so he's going to be double masculine, SITI, sleep, blast, play, consume. And that's all I've got, so I thank you guys very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like the video. If you're not subscribed, feel free to do that as well. Or feel free not to. Who gives a flying hoot? I care a little bit, okay? Anyway, I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks.